H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.
Yeah. So in our yesterday session, we discussed about transactions. Okay, how to insert the transactions during the recording and after recording. Okay, and then we started discussing verification. We understood how to insert the verification, and mainly we understood how to trace out the requests and the responses. Okay, in the script. Okay. Now here, I think we were in the middle of the logic. Somewhere we kept this particular logic here. We declare this particular variable. This is an integer variable. In today's class, we will try to understand the basics of, not basics, then say it's overview on C language. Okay, we'll try to understand overview on C language. As of now, this is a C language variable here. ICNT is a variable of type integer. Now here, and when we yesterday, if you remember, we were using this web underscore reg underscore find. Okay, here we were trying to find this particular eBay daily deals. We are trying to find this particular text in this particular response of this particular request. Whatever I have highlighted over here, it is a request. Okay, basically we are trying to find this particular eBay daily deals as part of response of this particular request. So that's the reason, if you want to validate something like that, before that request, you have to mention like this. And if it is there, it is going to maintain the number of occurrences, and that number of occurrences will be there in this particular variable here. Okay. Now I am saying this is a load runner related variable. Now whatever the variable here, it is a variable, but this is a load runner LR underscore variable. I mean, here in load runner we have two things. One is load runner related and C language related. Now whatever this I am saying, this is a load runner related variable, and don't worry, again for this we have exclusive talk. We will be discussing exclusively only on this. As of now, you can assume this is a load runner variable, and here if you look at here, this is a C variable. A C variable will looks like this. Okay, and here here. What is this? Yep. This is a load runner variable here. Okay. Actually, I was digging into this issue. Yep. And then here, if you want to make use of this particular variable, if you want to make use of this variable here in terms of C loop, okay, in terms of a if condition, we have to convert this load runner variable into a C variable. That can be achievable by using something called LR underscore eval string. Okay, don't worry. Actually, I know. First of all, try to understand the concept. We will be discussing each and everything here. Okay, we will talk about we'll discuss about C variable. We'll discuss about this load runner variable, and we'll try to understand how to convert C to load runner variable and load runner variable to C variable. Okay. As of now, for this scenario, we have to use these things. That's the reason here I have used. We'll discuss all these things. And everyone, please if you have any questions, please post during question and answers. Okay, please bear with me. Please don't post any questions during the topic discussion. Thanks everyone. Now here, see here, as I said here, this is a load runner variable here. Now here, if I want to make use of this load runner variable in conjunction with this C language related loop, see here, now if you remember, we understood that in general, most of the people uses this, like generally directly we will be mentioning LR underscore auto. So automatically it will decide whether it is pass or fail. Okay, how it is going to decide? In between start transaction and end transaction, if load runner encounters any issue, I mean while executing the script, if it finds any execution related issues, not application related issues. Okay, if it encounters any issues, it is going to automatically mark as fail. Otherwise, it will mark as pass. Okay, and however, see here, now I said this is a daily deal CNT is a load runner variable. So here we are trying to convert this load runner variable into a C variable like this. See here, this LR underscore eval string. So basically we are trying to convert this particular load runner variable into a C variable here. So when it converts into a C variable, basically it will be into a kind of a string. It can be a kind of a string. Okay, a string information. Again, for converting a string to integer, there is something called a typecasting function called A2I. Okay, and don't worry here. Now, as I said here, we have only limited things. Okay, if you can remember these things, that's it. Okay, A2I is ASCII to integer. That's a kind of a typecasting function. It is going to convert ASCII information to integer information. Here I can say here ASCII is something like a kind of a string information. This highlighted part is a kind of a string information. It means, say here, if you remember, I said this daily deal CNT is a variable which is going to maintain the number of occurrences of that particular text. If that particular occurrence is been there for 3 times, it is going to, this count is going to be have 3. But however, that 3 will be something like this. Generally, when I say here, when I say ASCII here, ASCII, or here in terms of string here, ASCII and string are both are same. Say for example, it found 3 values here. The meaning of 3 is like this. Okay. Generally here, if you see here, 3 is maintained in double quotation. Okay. So we need to convert into a normal integer. Normal integer means basically what we are trying to convert here. Here we are trying to convert this type of information to this type of information. Can you all agree that there is a difference, right? The first 3 is been enclosed in double quotation. The next 3 is not. So this first 3 is called as an ASCII to integer. Okay. So this function is called as A2I. This is one of the frequent function that we are going to use here in load runner. However, we will be discussing. Actually, here in this particular scenario, we had to use this. So that's the reason I have used this. However, we will be discussing each and everything in detail over here. Okay. Now here, so basically, once it converts, basically this highlighted part is going to give integer. So if you remember, this ICNT is an integer variable that we have discussed during the start of the script. Okay. Now again, we have something called LR underscore output underscore message. This will help you to print some message in the console here. During the execution, this LR underscore output message, this particular message is going to be print on the console. And basically, if you want to print integer information, here you have to use something called %d. Okay. Say for example, if you want to print some kind of a string information, it will be called as %s. Okay. If you want to print a float information, %f. Again, we'll come back to this particular this one also. Here there is something called %d. Here actually ICNT is a integer, so I'm trying to print this particular information. Now see here I wrote some condition called if condition. Again, this is if is a part of C language. So if CNT is greater than 0, it means if the count is greater than 0, we are saying it is pass. If this count is less than 0, I mean in other case we are saying it is a fail. Okay. However, I'm just trying to see what is the CNT is going to come from the application. Okay. Now let's save this and let's try to run this particular script. And here actually I was digging into this issue. Of course, here there is one issue. Now I was using some breakpoint. Again, we will be discussing about that. So let me use F10 here. Now let me replay. Let it replay. And I hope everyone is comfortable in finding the request and the respective response. Is there anyone here who are not comfortable in finding is not finding in finding the request and respective response? Please let me know if anyone of here is not much comfortable in finding the respective request and response. Please let me know. I see everyone is no one is not responding back. I think everyone is good with us. Okay, great. Here I can see a comment from Agni. Okay. Yeah, Agni, yes, I know. We'll look into that. Yeah, for you only, we'll look into that. Okay. But still, it is executing init only. Let's write. Come on. It started with action. Since it went into LR file, we'll see. Now see here, we'll go to the this replay log over here. This is the this 02 underscore cell. It is saying that pass. It is passed with it is a pass status, and the duration is around 19 seconds over here. Now we'll try to move for this one. Now can you all observe this 01 underscore daily deals? It is failed. It is a failed status. So it is failed means basically it comes to this particular loop. So it comes to this particular thing means it seems this if condition is not satisfied. And moreover, if you look at here, everyone observe here. If you can you all observe here the highlighted part here in the replay log, number of eBay daily deals occurrences is 0. So from where we are getting, basically because of this LR underscore output message, because of this highlighted part here, LR underscore output message, number of eBay daily deals occurrences are simply ICNT. It means this ICNT is 0. It means the number of occurrences it find is 0. Okay. Now here it seems again. I mean, actually we are tracing back. So here first of all it is failed. It failed means basically some this if condition is not satisfied, and moreover this ICNT is 0 here. If you see here, it has been printing as a 0 here. Okay, it means ICNT is 0. So if this ICNT is 0 means, which is nothing but ICNT is coming from here. Okay, it means this daily deals count is 0 here. Why this count is 0? Now we have to go back. Now here, if you remember, this daily deals count is coming from the top of the script. Now let us go over here. See here, we are trying to find this basically this eBay daily deals. We are trying to find this particular eBay daily deals as part of response of this particular request. It seems now during the execution, in this particular response of this particular request, whatever I have highlighted is a request. Okay. Now here in the response of this particular request, it seems this eBay daily deals is not there. Yep. Now again, yep. Now see here, this is our request. Now if you want to find the what is our request and what is the response of this particular request, if you want to find out this one, so just copy this. See here, just copy this particular request. Actually yesterday, somehow we were probably, I'm not sure. I think while doing something somewhere we missed it. See here. Now, however, I'm just copying this particular request over here. Okay, just copy this request. First step is, let me give some steps. Basically, this is going to be helpful even for correlation. Understanding the response and request. Let me say understanding the request and response. Okay, the first step is copy the request. I mean, when I say copy the request means don't need to copy the entire thing. Whenever you see this web underscore URL, that the first line, okay, copy the request. Under the output pane, go to code generation. Okay, here under the output pane, here select the code generation here. Okay, and go to the first line over here. Move to the first line, and then open. Open Control F means it is going to open the searching window here. Okay, Control F and paste this particular URL. Okay, paste this particular URL here. Click on Find Next. Now here, if you see here, you are able to find this particular request over here. Okay. Now here, basically, in other words, move to the first line and search for the request. Okay, and the fifth step is, based on the request, based on the found request in the code generation, make note of transaction ID. Okay, here based on this, try to find the this particular transaction ID here. Okay, there will be some kind of a event ID or transaction ID. Okay, just copy this ID. Again, go to the top section. Basically, this is a kind of this is the ID which is generated for this request. Now, based on this ID, try to find the response a response header, or try to see the response header, response body over here. Now again go to the starting of this particular code generation. Okay, based on this, make note of this transaction ID, and then go to first line in the code generation. Okay, again now search based on the transaction ID. Okay, now here we are in the starting of this. Now here I'm trying to search with this ID 924. Okay, now here if you look at here, it is saying some request header. Basically here we wanted to find the response. Okay, just skip this. Again it is saying some request header for this transaction. Again say find next. Now see here it is talking something about this response here. Now try to find the response information of that particular request. Basically here, now based on the now search based on the transaction ID and look for response related information. Okay, now here based on this transaction ID, we are trying to find this particular response here. Now in this particular response, basically this is the response. In this response, basically if you remember, yesterday we observed something like eBay daily deals. I'm not sure whether we exactly looked into this information or somewhere we looked. I mean, yesterday it seems we missed it. Somewhere we went wrong over here. While tracing out somewhere we did a mistake. Here see here in this particular what it is, this response header. Now see here we have a response header, and in this particular response header, basically if you remember, we wanted to find some information which is related to daily deals page. Okay, so here we were trying to find some information, and actually we copied this eBay daily deals somewhere from here only, but now it's not there. It means something went wrong over there. See here. Now see here, this is a response body. Basically for response, generally for a response there is something called, technically there is something called header, and body will be there. Now for this response, for this 924 response and header, I mean response header and response body does not contain any information like this eBay daily deals. That is the reason this particular this particular thing is not capturing any value, and that's the reason this daily deals count as 0. It means whatever the logic that we have wrote here, it seems this is we have kept in a wrong place. Yesterday actually we were trying to somehow, I'm not sure whether while doing some control F somewhere we missed it. Okay, so yesterday I assumed that it was this eBay daily deals was we understood that this was fine in this particular request, and we were kept over here. Okay, now what we have to do, again we have to start from here. If you remember, I said this particular process. Okay, until you find a respective proper information, you have to do this particular thing from the starting of the request over here. Okay, whatever I have said here, whatever the steps that we have said here, okay, these steps has to be repeated till we find a respective information. Basically, if you are doing a verification, okay, till you find a reasonable or a relative information, till you find a relative information of the page, we need to repeat the above steps for all the requests. Okay, and you may get again kind of irritation over here. Now see here there is a tip over here. Say for example here in this, during this particular process, as I said, please everyone don't post any questions during the topic discussion. Okay, if you have any questions, please post during the question and answers. Now see here there is a tip over here. Say if you see, while this request is started something like .com, and it is this requested, it is saying some .min_2, if you see somewhere, in the request, say if you see, here I'm scrolling down, most of them are CSS. Now see here, say for example, if you come across a request like this .png, just ignore this particular information because basically in this particular highlighted information, it is trying to ask for an image. .png means it is a PNG. I mean to say here when you you don't need to repeat these particular steps for all the requests. You can skip. You can skip for the request whose extension is .png, .jpeg, because basically the name itself is, basically these are the things which are trying to request for some images over here. Okay, I'm saying you have to record this, but you can exclude. Of course, even if you want to practice, you can do that, but you don't find much information in these images. Basically, these are the images. Okay, you can exclude. Okay, it's just a tip. Okay. Now, however, yesterday, we thought something, but it was not working. Now again, we'll go to the first request over here. Again, we'll try to follow this process. So here, I'm just copying this particular request. Again, now I'm going to this output pan and code generation, and we'll go to this particular starting point, and we'll try to search for this particular ebay.com over here. Now, can you see here? Now we have this particular request, and the transaction ID is 914. Okay, now I'm copying, and again I'm going to the top of this particular generation, Control F, Control V, and I'm trying to search with this particular ID. Now if you look at here, this is the response. Basically what we want to find based on this transaction ID, basically we wanted to find a request response related information. I think that's the step it is talking about. Okay, we copied the request. Let me say copy the request from the script pane, from the script, and go to output pane, code generation, move to the first line and open Control F, search for the request copied in the first step. Okay, based on the found request in the code generation, make note of the transaction ID. Okay, and go to the first line in the code generation. Now search based on the transaction ID and look for the response related. Yes, now I think I know this is good information to trace it out. Okay, now see here we are trying to find the response. Now we reached the response of this ID 914 here. Okay, response header. Now see here in this particular response, we'll try to see whether the eBay information, eBay page related information over here. In this response header, it seems it does not have anything. This is the response header of that particular request, and here I don't think so. We have something over here. Generally, in response header, generally will not find. And here, this is talking about some response body here. Now we'll go here. See here. This is the response body. I think yesterday we copied from this particular place, but somehow it has been missed. Now see here. It means we have to use. Now where we have to use this web underscore reg underscore find, in which place we have to use, in which line we have to use over here in the script. Now if you observe here, this is the response body of, this is the response of this particular request. Yeah, that's correct, Anu. That's correct, Devin. Okay. And any other cases from anyone? Now where we have to keep our web underscore reg underscore find. At least did you understand the problem that we have done? Okay. Now this is the line where we are going to keep this web underscore reg underscore find. Okay. Let me copy it. See. Okay, let me save this. Now let me save this. Okay, now let me try to run this particular script. let it run. So as I said earlier, so like this, there might be some organizations may use like this. It's like a kind of a what I can say, double confident transaction validation. I mean, so instead of directly blindly saying like LR underscore auto, so there will be some organizations might use this also. Okay, it depends. So for each and every transaction, so when you basically transaction means when we click something, then only know something will happen in the application. Like say generally transaction means here in this case we are clicking on daily deals, we are clicking on sell. Okay, so these are the transactions. So it means generally when you do some operation in the application, so we will call it as a transaction. So when you do some operation, there will be some respective change in the application will happen, right? There might be something will happen in the application. I mean, something has to get from the server. So it happens that whatever we get from the server, in that information we'll take some reference and we'll try to validate that particular information is there or not. Okay. So by finding that information, we will do this, and the same kind of approach will be used for correlation also. Whatever we have discussed here, the same kind of information might be useful for correlation also. We'll come back to that. Now here, apart from, as I said earlier, apart from these things here, I have mentioned all these things. Where is this? Here eval string is there, and if you see here LR variable to C variable. So and here we have LR output message. Okay, we will be discussing these things, and moreover, if you look at here we'll be discussing this integer, and here we'll be discussing this if loop. Apart from these things, like I know here I used these like if condition, integer, LR output message, LR under LR eval string, and here I use this A2I. Okay. Apart from these things, if you have any questions, please post in the chat box. Okay. And of course, there is something need to discuss over here. We'll see. Say for example, say you have a login transaction. Assume, say you are measuring a login transaction. Say if the login transaction got failed, what generally we have to do? Say for example, you are logged into the application. Okay. Say we are logged into the application. Sorry, we are trying to log into the application. Say login got failed. So what we have to do over there? Did you understand my question? Say basically say you are measuring a login transaction. Say login transaction got failed. In that case, what we have to do? Generally, when the login is say here we are doing a, say for example, say for example, we are sending an email. Okay, we are login and we are sending an email, then logging out. Say login itself is failed. In that case, what we have to do, we have to stop the script there itself, right? There is no meaning in continuing the executing sending email and logout, because login itself is failed. When the login transaction failed, it is preferable to stop the script there itself. Do you agree with me with that? Did you understand my point over here? Say you have a login and sending email, logout. Say login itself is got failed. Okay. in that case, there is no meaning in continue with the sending email and logout because login itself is failed. So it means technically here in terms of load runner, say if the login transaction got failed here. So in that case, what we have two things. One is you can altogether stop the script, or you can say exit the iteration. Say for example, if you are executing the script with a number of iterations, say 5 different users, we'll be discussing that particular topic as part of parameterization here. Okay, how to execute the same script with the different sets of values. However, what you can do over here, you can exit the current iteration and you can start with the next iteration. Okay, that kind of things also available over here in load runner here. I will show it. However, before that, let us look into this here. This is got paused. Now see here, this is also got paused. If you all agree here, this is also got paused. And see here, if you find here, if you see here, this number of eBay daily deals occurrences 4 here. It means in that particular request response, it seems this eBay daily deals has been there for 4 times. In that response of that particular request, it seems this eBay daily deals has been repeated for 4 times. That's the reason this number is 4 over here. Can you all agree? This is a number 4, which is nothing but this IC and this is the 4 over here. Okay. And now I was talking about, say for example, say if this particular transaction got failed. Say assume this is the login transaction. If this transaction got failed, I want to continue with the next iteration. In that case, here see here there are some sort of options available here. So we have something called abort. So basically, it is going to stop the script here itself. Actually, it is not showing automatically here. I'm not sure what happened. And there is something called LR exit iteration. There will be something called exit iteration. Something will be there here. So here it is when I use. Let me do one thing. Yep. So here there is something called LR exit user. Actually, even there is something called LR abort. LR abort means basically it is going to stop this entire script itself. LR exit user means, say here in a controller. If you remember, actually we are creating a kind of a standalone script. Say this particular script is going to be in a real time. Say around 20 users are going to execute the same functionality. It means this particular script is going to be used with the 20 users. For one of the user, this particular transaction got failed. In that case, we can exit that particular user only. I mean, basically this exit user generally it will helpful in the controller. Say if this is the functionality. Say for example here in GoToMeeting, as of now we have connected around 10 to 15 students, right? Okay. Say for one of the student, if this login is got failed, only that particular user only, for that particular user only, we don't need to execute that particular script. For other scripts, we wanted to execute. I mean, GoToMeeting is one functionality which is being simultaneously is accessed by around 15 people. Okay, for one of the people, if the login is got failed, there is no meaning if we stop the entire meeting itself. Okay, it is something like this. So LR exit user means it is going to stop the only one user for that user for whose user this login is got failed. Okay, and actually this is not so comfortable. Basically here it is going to show so many options here. Exit user, exit iteration. Iteration. And even there is something called, I think there should be something called exit action. Why all these options are not available? Yep. As of now, let me say here, failed here. Like this, LR exit action, it means you can exit only this action. You can exit, you can stop the script. You can exit the user. There is exit iteration. So there will be some set of options available based on your requirement, based on the kind of scenario. You can select the options over here. Okay. So basically here, I listed down. If you look at here. LR exit and LR abort. So basically LR exit means I was talking about LR exit user. Okay, a user is going to exit, and whereas LR abort is basically it is going to stop the script over here. Okay, now if we closely observe here, we are trying to understand the start transaction, end transaction, think time. LR abort is for to stop the script, and LR exit to exit only one user. LR eval string, we will discuss this. Okay. Actually, till this point, we have been trying to understand. Now, we'll be discussing these things. Now here, we'll try to understand this parameterization. Okay, parameterization means replacing the hard-coded values with the parameters. And if we build a script with this particular values, with this particular credentials, and if we execute for 20 times, for all the 20 times, it will try to execute with these, with this particular values only. Okay. So to facilitate our script to execute with the different sets of values, okay, will we go for parameterization. Okay, now we'll try to take a new script over here. Let me say parameterization. Okay, now let me say create here. And before I create it, let us take this registration in the EB application. Okay, we'll try to register in the EB application, and we'll try to parameterize that particular script. Okay, here. Now here we will try to register into this particular here we will click on register. Okay, we will try to enter some values over here, so that here it's a very good scenario for us to parameterize. Okay, here we'll enter these first name, last name, email ID, password, create password, and confirm password over here. Okay, we'll try to create a scenario on this. Now here I'm clicking on this record menu, record button, and here so first of all, let me select this particular user underscore init. Okay, now let me say start recording. Actually, here creating a virtual user script is very easy. Only a bit tough is yesterday's topic, and there is a topic called correlation. These two topics, and moreover, if you understand the yesterday's, like that tracing out like tracing out the request and response. If you understand that one, I can say you're almost done. Now here, we already learned this, comments and transactions, right? Now during recording of this particular script, now we'll include transactions and comments and, oops. Let me stop the script. I stopped the script because it did not open the application properly. I think internet is available here in this machine. Yes, it is there. It is trying to open MSN.com. Excuse me. See here, actually we have selected VuserNet. I'm trying to see if there is any script has been recorded as part of VuserNet. Of course, it did not record anything here in VuserNet. Again, I'm clicking on record button. See here, everyone. Again, I'm clicking on record button, and here I'm selecting VuserNet.
H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.